Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to show you guys how to plant some garlic. It's very simple, so I hope you can follow along and show you how it's done. Okay, the next thing you're going to need is a spot to plant your garlic. So here we have a large area. I'm not exactly sure how big it is, but it's many feet by many more feet. We usually plant 500, 600, 700 head of garlic in here, so that tells you roughly how big this area is. So here we just have some loose soil. We did just cut a bit of the grass around the area, so you've got a bit of grass clippings in there. There's some leaves. We've got a huge pine tree here, so there's pine needles in there. Doesn't really matter. It's all going to get mixed up. And I'm also going to add some organic mushroom compost. This one comes from Greeley Sand and Gravel. Not sponsored, just saying that's what we use. And so we're now going to add some of this compost into this bed and sort of just mix it up gently. Okay, so I just shoveled in a bunch of compost. I'm now going to use the rake and just sort of rake it in and then move the truck and do the second half of the bed with more compost. Okay, so I decided to be a little bit more scientific about it. So I've got the measuring tape here. So we're a little over 15 feet in one direction. Not the band, but as a measurement here. And I'm going to just go this way. Pull this tight. We are approximately 14... Where's the 15? So yeah, basically 15 by 15. So it's almost a square. It's not exactly a square, but it's almost a square. Okay, so now your garlic cloves. When you're separating your bulbs, make sure that the clove that you're planting is completely intact. You do not want to plant garlic that, for example, this one, as you can see, the protective outer layer got ripped off when I was separating them. So this you would not plant. This you would actually just keep and eat right now, or you can chop it up and freeze it. But it's not going to be a good idea to plant this. You also don't want to plant anything that has, so this is my pail of bad ones. So for example here, there's a little hole there. Some sort of bug must have gotten in there. Because part of this I can kind of squish in and it's no good. So this also I'm not going to plant. I'm going to cut it open. I'm going to get rid of this gross piece and I'm going to freeze this for the winter. So these are my bad ones. This is the 700 good cloves of garlic that we're going to plant. So now we have different sizes. Some of them are quite large. Some of these cloves are quite big. Then we do have some slightly thinner or smaller ones. You want to have a nice mix because you don't want all just mammoth sized garlic, but you also don't want a whole bunch of teeny tiny garlic. So that's it. When you're planting your garlic, you're going to make sure you plant it this way. So this is where the roots will come out, so that will be down into the soil. It'll go down this way and the point will stick up. So I'll show you what that looks like once I've planted them in this first row. So it's very easy. Basically just push it in, take your next one, push it in. Okay, so I've planted 3 rows, 75 cloves of garlic for now. Once it's been planted, you can still see the top here poking through. You're going to want to bury it. So you're going to take just some of the soil and you want to make sure that it's nice and buried all the way down. Keep going. So again, you can see the one row that's been covered, the 2 other rows that are still uncovered. So you can kind of see that I'm using my hand to kind of push the soil over and on top. I'm sure you can use a rake or something. I don't know. I just like using my hands. I hate wearing gloves and I hate using tools to do some of the jobs sometimes, so I just use my hands. But feel free to use whatever you're comfortable with. If you don't want to touch the soil or whatever, then wear gloves and use a rake. Whatever you want. Whatever you're comfortable with. Gardening should be fun. Shouldn't be super stressful. Alright, so that row's covered. So once I'm done planting everything, you're going to see all these rows are going to be held over and sort of mounded and tapped. And then once all 700 are planted, then I'll show you the next step.
One eternity later.
Okay, several hours later, we are all done. All 700 cloves of garlic have been planted. Flag at the start of the row, flag at the end of the row. And so now we're going to move on to the next step, which is covering it with straw. Straw helps to insulate it for the winter, basically. Okay, so now next we're going to take some straw. We have a bale of straw that's left there from a little while ago, so we're going to use that and we're going to spread it all, and then we'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so we've added the straw. As you can see, we're looking to add it as gently and as airy and as lightly as possible. You don't want to add a whole bunch of straw in one heavy spot. You want it to be, you know, sort of sprinkled on. The air pockets is sort of what creates the insulation. So we're going to add as much straw as we can here. You want a nice thick, you know, several 6, 8, 10 inches of straw across the whole bed, just to really give it that insulation for the winter. Now what we're also going to do, because we do have turkeys around here, is we have some snow fencing. We add the snow fencing on top just so that the turkeys don't go in there and scratch everything, because they seem to like to do that. That's in the past. They've come in, they've moved all the straw, they've dug out garlic, they've planted it other places. So anyways, so yeah, that's what it looks like when you add the straw. If you want to do it again, just sort of sprinkle it on just like that. Okay, so that's it. Snow fence is on. It's going to stay on until the spring. Once we start to see the little green shoots of the garlic growing, that's when we'll pull the fencing off, because it'll be safe by then. But yeah, that's it. That's basically how to plant garlic. So good luck.